Don't forget that we are also streaming live on YouTube. So if you go right now to youtube.com/smooth981FM Lagos, you will be able to see our faces, which are quite shiny in the studio this morning. Now let's delve into what happened in terms of stock market activity yesterday. Gentlemen, shall we? Fisayo?
Yes, okay, so the market gained 0.11% and closed at 32,417 points. It's still resisting the 30,000 resistance level. Top gainers were Nigerian Insurance with 10% gain. That's the maximum for the day. And top star was Waste Management Company Initiates PLC that lost 9.68%. The market still down year to date by 15.32%, and interest rates remain stable at 361 naira to a dollar.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much for that. So now let's delve into our first topic very quickly. The central bank have released draft guidelines for licensing and regulation of payment service banks. What is the motive behind this exactly, Fisayo? And what is, for the sake of everyone listening, a payment service bank?
Okay, so we've been talking about financial inclusion in Nigeria for quite some time.
Yes.
So many initiatives, mobile money refused to catch on because the telcos are not allowed to do that. So, and then, like we said, most people want, most central banks will not allow the Kenyan situation because
Yes.
they regret that thing happening for telcos to be able to do to perform banking activities. So they're looking for alternative routes. However, India gave everybody a lifeline by introducing rural banks and then rural areas in this bank can or cannot do, right? I think the biggest issue for me is the fact that the payment service bank cannot offer credits. They can just take deposits and then they are compelled to put those deposits in commercial banks or put them in treasury bills. So it's just what can we do to ensure payment? Basically that's where the CBN is biased towards, and I think to a large extent we include a lot of people in the financial system. However, I don't know if that would solve too many big problems.
Right.
I'm not sure
Right.
it is. I think we've been around this now. So issuing another category of license for me is a bit worrisome. I don't know whether it's based out of research or just a way to pander to some of the lobbying or the pressure from some of these other heavy blocks, because I know the telcos have been lobbying or been pushing for it hard.
Okay.
So I don't know whether it's in a way to just appease them, but I'm not sure it's going to solve anything because we've got several banking licenses that already do this kind of things like that. In a way, maybe we could even license microfinance banks to do something like this as well because they're quite close to that space. So
that was the intention of the microfinance bank, but it never did because microfinance banks maintained their city presence because I'm not going to go and set up a branch in some village with 20 people and then hope that I make profit from that. Especially when the physical infrastructure still needs to be built. So I'm going to build a house, have some vaults, cash operations and all of that. It's difficult to turn profits. So even banking operations, right? A lot of banks are closing down their branches in less profitable areas, and then they're not even in villages or in rural areas, let alone microfinance bank. So I guess payment service bank is just to ensure that retailers, so people with shops or mobile money agents, people, and then telcos actually will be able to use their distribution network to offer financial services on top of that. However, they will be regulated by the CBN, so they are technically a bank. So it's not they are banks, right? So they have to create a different subsidiary to be able to perform these banking operations that will be regulated by the CBN. So it's not like it's a telco that is offering, it's a bank that is offering, but the bank is just owned by a telco. So that's how the CBN seems to have.
So one last thing, capital. Minimum capital is 5 billion.
Yep.
Non-refundable application fee is 500,000, and non-refundable licensing fee is 2 million naira.
Yeah.
So, it's only for the big boys.
If you have the money, go in. Up next, let's talk about artificial intelligence. So, Diamond Bank's Ada plans to go into stock trading. Ada is the chatbot that you may have seen around town, and you've seen the little adverts introduced by Diamond Bank, and she may just start trading stocks soon. Titi Odunfa, who's the managing director of Sankore Investments, that designed the bot, actually disclosed this during the NSE Bloomberg Roundtable. I do believe it was yesterday that this happened, and I find it quite curious. All of this is meant to, again, attract a younger audience to using this. But please, what are your thoughts on this?
Okay, so
The younger demographic. Will they use artificial intelligence for stock trading?
let's even figure out if Ada responds to my questions if I ask her. You know,
Have you used Ada?
no. I've not necessarily used that
Okay.
much. Again, I don't know.
It just sounds so wrong in saying it out on the airwaves. I will just point out.
Yeah.
But carry on.
Yeah, so I hope Ada at least number one does the work is she's meant to do, right? By responding to my chat, like, okay, guy, sorry, auntie, please, I want to open a bank account. How do I go about it? Said, yeah, okay. Do I come and pick it up at the branch? Or if Ada can respond to all of that, yeah, maybe Ada can trade stocks. But I hope Ada does respond to that. And I know if anybody's listening and used Ada before, let's figure out if Ada is actually responsive, you know, to that. That said, right, stock trading is a different kettle of fish. You know, it practically runs on information, right? I hope Ada has the information to be able to make a decision. I hope Ada knows that there are times in the year that you know, you've had a good run up to the third quarter, and then the fourth quarter everything goes down. You know, I hope Ada knows that it's election season, that, you know, people are selling off. I hope Ada knows that once interest rates in the US has gone up, the foreign portfolio investment will sell their stocks. I hope Ada knows all of these things, right? So if Ada does know, then she probably will be able to take.
Fisa, I feel like you need to have a conversation with her.
I'm telling you.
It feels like a relationship that needs more communication. That's what it feels like. But Taiwo, what are your thoughts? Especially considering that it is meant to be targeted towards a younger demographic, and perhaps to maybe in some way introduce them to these sort of investment moves.
Well, I'm not sure stock trading is something very heavy or that is quite prominent within the younger audience. That's the first thing, you know, in itself. So I don't know how relevant this would be to their demographics in that sense, like that. Because I mean, there are quite a number of people even in our generation that don't really understand this.
You mean I'm a younger millennial. I like how you tried to include me.
In your generation.
But yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, like, and then along the lines of, I mean, I think that they figured out the technology side of things, which is why they're trying to venture into other verticals, you know, just beyond banking in itself. I just say keep a watchful eye out for it in itself. Hopefully we get to the point where we have like robo advisors, and I think this is what they're trying to do with that. I'm breaking into other verticals. I'm getting income from other areas. So, hey.
Okay. Up in the messages, Balaji first in just saying, can Ada speak pidgin? That's an important question. Well, Ugo from VI says, Ada is just a cartoon with humans running her from behind. I mean, from the background, Joe. Okay, Ugo. This I don't really know. But Dakwa says, I'm not so sure that I'm ready to put my stock trading advice on Ada. I certainly won't do that. Ooh, confidence very low there, very low. We're not trusting artificial intelligence. It will run the world one day.
That's the thing. So if Ada at least answers my questions, at least we'll know that yes, Ada can at least do stuff, and then maybe we can trust her with stock trading sometime in the future.
Okay. Speaking of trusting, there's an OAU student, Ahmed Baruwa, who has won the Data Science Nigeria Inter-Campus Machine Learning Competition. He's a 500 level student of Obafemi Awolowo University, Ife, and has emerged the winner of Inter-Campus Machine Learning Competition. Himself and other successful students will then go on to participate in a 5-day boot camp organized by one of the competition sponsors, Blue Chip Technologies. Interesting. Data science.
Yeah.
Great effect.
Did you go to Ife? Is that what happened?
Yeah, well, I think it.
Hey.
It is a gorgeous campus. It's my favorite. Well, I haven't been to a lot.
Can
but
you see?
Gorgeous. Gorgeous. No, but
Okay.
you didn't rank in the Times.
Well, the only thing is
listing.
that
Last times they don't understand us.
yeah, the only thing is that if the lecturer still asks students for I mean. Anyways, let me know.
Don't make any allegation you cannot.
But lecturer has been suspended, right? So
Okay.
Can we move on to
Anyway, so-
let's talk about Ahmed.
So-
Let's talk about Ahmed.
Ahmed
yeah.
won the data science inter-campus competition. It's interesting to know that there are 92 universities involved in this. 92 universities and polytechnics, both local and foreign.
Oh, wow.
So and then this our own Ahmed Baruwa won the competition. So I think it's interesting. So let's see how much further it can go, how much further along it can go. As we've said, data science. Okay, so people talk about machine learning, but a lot of times the what machine feeds on is data, right? So
Yes.
it's the basis for all forms of any artificial intelligence. So like we said about Ada the last time, once Ada is able to take in information around the capital market for the past 20 years, right? And is able to process it. It means he can make educated guesses around what to do next, when something like this happens based on historical patterns and all. So once you can able to analyze the data around anything, then you can do some predictive, take some predictive decisions around stock trading. I think it's important for everybody.
All right. We pretty much have just about a minute left. Very quickly, I'll just mention that 11 Nigerian startups have been shortlisted for AppsAfrica Innovation Award 2018, including Farm Crowdy, which we have mentioned a few times, Kitovu, which is an agri-tech award, Flutterwave, a few others. Any comments on this?
I think it's good that we're having Nigerian startups, show up or be showcased on some of these for some of these awards in themselves. I don't know anything about the awards.
All right, but congratulations.
All the same.
It's always nice to be awarded. And we'll round up with a few messages. It's a Feel Good Friday, so clearly people are amused right now. Ada, can we trust Ada with our stocks? Ask Daniel Akugbe from Apapa. He says we need to try and see what Ada can really do. Wild Tire from VI says, but Ada is not a marker that disappoints. Yeah. Ken says the agency, you need to be, that's why you're not in millennial, So the agency banking window hasn't enjoyed that required support by the regulators. Operators are faced with diverse infrastructural constraints, says Ken. Very interesting. But on that note, we're officially done with the Business Express for this morning. Thank you very much, Fisayo, Taiwo. We appreciate having you in the studio. Coming up next, we've got some great music for you lined up. It is a Feel Good Friday on Smooth Breakfast, so sit back, relax, and enjoy. And we'll be back at 7:30 for detailed newspaper analysis inside of Freshly Pressed.
Business Express on Smooth.
Finished. I'm ready to go home.
It's your turn now.
I know.